Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Thank you for taking time to cruise in for Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy, and welcome to our home in the Lone Star Community Radio Studios, housed here in Conroe Tower and in the county that is considered the birthplace of the flag of the Lone Star State. I'm Randy Weldon along with Robert Helmer and Dana Pritchard, and sequestered back in the safe room / sound booth is Dick Schischler, our sound engineer and producer. We are broadcasting from Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 and 106.1 FM and streaming worldwide on irlonestar.com, YouTube, and Facebook. Robert, we got any guests in here today?
Yep, I'm Robert Helmer, and we are your host for Cruisin. And on today's show, we have Arthur Robert Kennedy. He has a new book out. It's called Unbridled. You know a little bit about the books before we get to him?
I know a little bit. It's like a 15-pound book.
15-pound book.
It's incredible.
Okay, he's going to be zooming in with us, and we also have Brian Sims. Brian Sims of the Champions Hot Rod Car Club. He will be joining us in the studio, and we're going to talk with Brian about the upcoming car show on October the 6th at On the Rocks Bar in Spring, Texas. And before we get to that, we got some automotive news.
What kind of automotive news?
Well, actually, what we're doing is...
You know anything new?
Yes.
Good response.
I want to talk about that 15-pound book.
Yeah, we will. We'll get Robert on. You can ask him about it.
Okay.
Well, because I was thinking 15 pounds. That's like equivalent to a big Thanksgiving turkey. So
It
if
is.
you're saying
Yeah,
is that...
probably took them all year to cook it, right? Okay, what we're doing is some follow-up stories. I don't know if you remember the news. We reported a couple of episodes ago that CNN reported Chrysler's parent company, Stellantis, is laying off as many as 2,450 factory workers at the Warrant Truck Assembly Plant.
Yep, out there on 8 Mile.
Right. And is that where that is?
Yep.
8 Mile?
8 Mile. Yeah, that's
Really?
the name of the road. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what they're doing is they're getting rid of the production of the Ram 1500 truck. And October 8th is the layoff date for them. And this is kind of like a story of two cities. This is why I'm bringing this back up. Is a news story broke out this week. It's from Italy. That's where the parent company is. It's based. And over there, how they handled the slowdown was they're going on strike.
There you go. That's it. You're going to lay you off. We're going to strike.
Yeah. The story is that they're going on strike. And the group has been in talks for months with the government over plans to increase the output. They're going to force them to make the 1 million cars they were scheduled to make over in Italy.
Then they're going to lay them off.
I don't know if they're going to lay them off or not, but that's what they want. They're just like, no, we're going to build these cars or we're going on strike.
You know how that happens, don't you?
No.
Because I used to belong to United, United, I don't know, Steel Workers or something like that.
Yeah, it's the steel workers.
And you go out to the union hall, contract negotiations. Everybody drinks a few beers, goes in and talks. Now they're all riled up. They come out and drink a few more beers. By the time they get back to work the next day, we're all going on strike. That's how that works.
Yeah. So I just thought that was kind of, how we deal with it over here. Okay, we're laying off 2,000 people. Goodbye. And over here is like, no, we're going on strike. We demand the government to build these cars.
Yep, that's it.
And what's happened is over there is the slow and mainly due to poor market demand, especially for the electric vehicle.
I'll be doggone.
So that's the tale of two cities here.
So wait a minute. The demand for electric vehicles in Europe is low.
It's low. And evidently that's what these 1 million cars or something is part of the electric vehicle production.
Well, that's where the whole global push for, cleaning up the air and stuff really kind of came from was in Europe.
So. No, in Europe, right.
Yeah.
So that was just an interesting up on that. The other story we did was Car and Driver 10 best cars. We did that the other day. I did a follow-up. I went to Buckaloo Chevrolet, and we showed them the list, and they were really nice, really supportive. They didn't know there was a show out there. That's one thing. They didn't know there was a Lone Star Community Radio station here.
Well, okay.
So, yeah, we had to inform them that, yes, there is a radio station here, and there is a podcast called Cruisin Car Club Talk. And so they're really interested in that. And they said anytime that they could help, they would help out. And so they're really nice over there. But we started talking about the Corvette E-Ray hybrid. And I asked if they had one. And they came back, and the spokesperson said that that model is a limited production, and they even wondered why it was even on the list. Because, yes, it's a hybrid, but its range is 3 miles.
3 miles.
3 miles. He says, good for getting you out of the neighborhood without waking the neighbors. Other than that, it is just a normal Corvette.
So they're down there off the freeway on the south side of Gladstone.
Right.
It would almost get here to the studio.
Almost.
Almost.
Well, how many of those have they produced?
They're limited edition. He said you probably will not find one in Houston unless you special order
yeah.
it. Yeah.
What's the price point on those?
$110,000.
Ah, it's pocket
Not too
change.
bad.
Yeah.
Pocket change.
Buy two.
That's right. Buy one.
So-
His and hers.
I thought with those 2 follow-up stories, I thought that was pretty interesting. So, And,
let's go
before
on
we-
strike, man.
yeah. And before we get to any upcoming events and everything, we have TWCC coming up. So,
Yes.
Dana, you want to tell us about
Yeah,
what's
first
going
Sunday
on?
of the month, the Woodlands Cars and Coffee for a Cause is coming up October 6th. We'll be out there from 6 to 10 a.m., and we're starting a new charity. So there's one charity per quarter. It's the last quarter of the year. And actually, Market Street's doing something different this year. Apparently, they have what they call a sing-off, and it's a singing competition.
I won't be singing.
See, that's why I told you karaoke is
Maybe that's
you-
why Justin is at the karaoke place every day.
That might be Jason.
Jason,
Jenkins.
yeah, Jason Jenkins.
Look, even drunk, I don't karaoke.
You know what? Never say never.
I've been saying it for a long time.
So they're going to get a lot of the local high schools are going to participate, and there, I guess they have their music programs. They're going to have a contest, and this is the 4th year that Market Street is having this sing-off. And apparently, whoever wins the sing-off, I guess they're going to choose 3 or 4 schools that Market Street's proceeds from the parking meters will go to. A portion of those donations will go to 2 high schools to their music program. So a little
Good.
something different.
Is that to the Conroe ISD
Yeah, yeah.
high schools?
Yeah,
Okay.
CISD, two schools. I think it's the high schools. And I don't know how many schools participate, but this is the 4th year that Market Street's having, I guess it's Market Street having this sing-off, or the high schools are having this sing-off. I'll have to find out. This is all new to me.
Okay.
But, so that's where our donations are
Where
going.
are they going to hold the sing-off? Is that going to
That's
be
where I
like in
have
the
to-
little square thing
That's
in the
where I have
center?
to find out. I think it's Market Street from what I've read.
Right there in the
So-
little square. Yeah.
On the stage.
Yeah.
Central Park there.
Is that what that's called, Central Park? Okay.
Well, that'd be kind of cool. You got one school over here, one school over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice because we're approaching the holiday season in October. Hopefully it'll be a little bit cooler for our event, maybe not, but at least it'll be exciting because we are going into the holiday season, so they'll be decorating and people will be happy it's fall.
So they're going to start that this coming Sunday.
October 6th.
Oh, the
Well,
following Sunday.
Next
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Okay.
next-
Next time we're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, next.
And so are they going to launch into Christmas songs already?
I hope not. I know the decorations are everywhere, but I mean, at least we're in the last, tail end of the year.
Yeah,
where-
last quarter.
Yeah, the last quarter.
Do you know what charity will be raising money for October the 6th, though, at
Well, so
Cars and
October-
Coffee?
Yeah, October, November, December. That's where the
That-
donations
that
are
is-
going
that
to be
is-
going to.
okay,
To the
that's what the whole
two-
quarter is
Yeah,
for.
the 2 schools the students who win the sing-off,
Okay.
they're going to donate to the music program.
So if you come October 6th to Cars and Coffee, your donation is going to that
Going
charity.
towards to 2 high schools music
Okay.
program. And the other thing is in December, of course, we have the holiday toy drive going to benefit the Montgomery County Women's Center.
Right.
The children
And I
of
think
that.
we did that last year, right?
Yeah, several years we've
Yeah.
been doing
We
that.
do it
now.
every year.
Yeah, for the same charity, the Women's Center.
That charity's right across the street diagonal over here.
Right.
Yeah, and then, and also integrating some other nonprofit organizations. You may have noticed there have been some other charities at our table. I think it's important to get the word out to the community that there are a lot of grassroots nonprofit organizations that don't get government entity funding or, large corporation funding.
Right.
So it's important that we kind of share information about these needful charities. So I've been trying to integrate new ones that come out, to join us as well for exposure. And also donations too. It doesn't have to end at just the Change for Charity program at Market Street. Can very well integrate some others as well.
Yeah, anything to do with helping the community out, especially when you get to do it with your car. You get to have fun with the cars and come out and then also help the community.
As long as you don't spill coffee on your car, you're in good shape, right?
Well, the nice thing is the car enthusiasts who are coming out to bring their cars. A lot of them, there's a lot of diversity, but a lot of these, men who are coming out with their cars, they're blue-collar workers, they're busy, they work hard, not necessarily blue-collar, but a lot of them do work on their own cars.
A lot of well-off people there, too.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is either they don't have the time or the funds, but they want to be involved in the community, they want to give back, but they don't have the funds to go to a gala or organize a fun run or a golf team, for a golf tournament charity event. But they want to give back. So by them showing their car off, giving a couple dollars for the donation.
Right.
And
have a good time at the same time.
And have a good time. And the people love coming to see the car. So it's a win-win. Charity gets exposure. The people who are car enthusiasts get to show off their cars, and the community gets to enjoy them. So
And get to hang around with like-minded people who love cars and have a good time.
And we don't
And
segregate.
go to breakfast, right?
Some people go to breakfast.
And we don't segregate or discriminate as far as the cars go. The only thing we can't accommodate, of course, is the bigger trucks.
Yeah, just don't fill up with all full of Mustangs.
Yeah.
Well, we do also try to keep Robert away from the table, keep him out there in the street.
Yeah. I haven't got run over yet.
Not yet, but
Well,
we've got people targeting you.
And to clarify, we like the Mustangs. It's just that space can't accommodate too many of one car. So,
Right, you don't want too many of one
I don't
brand.
want
You want a
17
variety of different
Mustangs.
cars.
Exactly.
Yeah, we might let a Camaro in once or twice.
It's really hard, though, when so many people like that one car,
But I remember those days of the Mustang Club or the Camaro Club. Both clubs were coming, and we had 20 or 30 of each, and it was getting a little filled up with just the two clubs. And that was
Just little.
Yeah.
Just
Okay,
little.
speaking of car shows, let's go to car shows. And guess what? I got them in order.
No.
Yeah.
Did you go the dates?
Well, here we go. October 5th, Mustang Club of Houston. They're an open show at Planet Ford. That's I-45 in Spring.
Spring, Texas.
And you can go to carshowfun.com and register and sign up there. October 5th, the annual Halloween Classic Car Show, the National Museum of Funeral History off of I-45. And Charles was in here.
Charles will air on Monday, actually.
Right, okay, and you'll catch him. October 6th, TWCC, Cars and Coffee. Okay, that's going to be in the Woodlands, Market Square.
Get my butt out of bed at 5 a.m.
Yeah. October 13th, Best Automotive is hosting the fall show at the Town Center in Kingwood, Texas. And then October the 19th, Wolf Creek Park in Cold Springs. For more information, call get online, coldspring.org. And it's by the Cold Spring Chamber of Commerce.
Aside from that being an enjoyable show, it's a nice cruise out there and back.
It's a beautiful cruise out there, and it's beautiful scenery at the car show. Because they actually, the Wolf Creek Park, and that's a beautiful park. It's right there on the lake.
Hopefully we'll have nice weather too.
Yeah.
Hopefully so.
October 27th, Sam Houston Corvette Club is hosting its all Corvette show in Town Green Park in the Woodlands, sponsored by Buckaloo Chevrolet. Nice people.
When is the Nifty 50s all Mustangs? I'm sorry, did you?
It's every Saturday.
No,
they're having a special Mustang night.
For the
I do
Mustangs.
not have that date.
We had that date.
It
flew up there on the Facebook page somewhere.
Yeah, it's not
you-
this. If it's not this Saturday, it's next Saturday.
Okay, I saw that. But
Yeah.
did you guys even notice? Did you even introduce the ponytails aspect of my introduction? And did you notice?
We
I
haven't.
did it just for you.
No,
We
I don't
haven't
think
yet.
I don't think our listeners has heard of the segment of the ponytail idea.
We're still working into this whole evolution.
Right.
But,
All right, but I
The,
didn't do all
the
this.
ponytail idea was a segment of for female viewers and listeners to get a viewpoint of car clubs and car related stories and see if we can get more female listeners
Well,
in.
women are interested in cars just like guys are, and
Right.
some of them here are more knowledgeable than some of the guys. So,
Right.
you know,
And
so
the
yeah.
ponytails came from Mustang-related idea?
Well, keep in mind, it's
Not-
Pony and then
Yeah.
Tales. Tails, not tails.
Yeah,
I was
it's
hoping you would
the
talk
idea is
about that.
actually written here on the piece of paper a few months ago. Ponytail's a female perspective of cars and in the car community. And if you would be like on the show, please let us know, and we can go from there.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
The things Robert wakes up in like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
I love
jot
it, though.
down real quick
See,
so
that's
I
what
don't
you're
forget.
supposed to do. Always keep a book by your bed.
That's right.
But no, I like the idea. It's a good way to integrate women into this for sure. So.
Yes, and
I just tell Alexa, hey, I have this idea. Record this. Go ahead.
okay, going back to car show listings, November the 2nd. This is a part one, Lone Star Motor Madness car show hosted by Northside Mustang Car Club. In New Caney, open car show at Bull Salas Park, and that is also on carshowfun.com. Okay.
And then what's the first Sunday in November date fall on?
That the 2nd is a Saturday, so the 3rd is a
So that would
Sunday.
be
Yeah,
Cars
it'd
and
be
Coffee for a
yeah.
Cause.
Okay, so
Yeah.
cars and coffee on the 3rd. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. You going to come over for that one?
So which one?
Over to Bull Saul's place. It's 59 and 99. It's right behind the shopping
I'm
center.
trying to get over there, yes.
You got to come on over. We got food trucks and everything.
Okay,
You know I don't go many places without food around.
who organizes the food trucks?
Vernon
Vernon will.
Okay.
Yeah.
or the car show chairman,
Yeah.
Robert Helmer,
Okay.
who hasn't organized the food truck yet.
I've
but
got so many hats, I don't know where to put them.
I was just wondering if the Crave food truck was coming out or their
No,
food
the Crave
basket.
food truck is gone.
Yeah, but do they have a caboose,
Yeah.
a
Well,
barbecue caboose?
They're talking about getting a pull trailer
They
now.
are.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a long story.
As long as
Yeah.
it's
That's
has
a long
food.
story.
As
Yeah.
long as it has fresh food
That's what we're going to have food there no matter how we get it.
and indoor plumbing for the show.
Got
No,
indoor
yeah,
plumbing.
we have
sure do.
indoor
Even,
plumbing,
even
yeah.
though it's New Caney, we've
Yeah.
got indoor plumbing. That's right.
Gotta ask.
Okay, that's our list for now.
That's it. That's all you got on the list?
That's it.
All right. Well, Dana, you got anything else over there?
Hey, I always have something. So
Go ahead.
You just ask.
Go ahead. Just go ahead and throw it out there.
No, I was just gonna tell you guys thanks a lot for including me in this. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I think you'd be a
And,
great addition here. We just got to
yeah.
work your name into the show and
then
get that segment up and running for you.
line up some cool guests. I already have a bunch of people that are interested in coming. If we can just figure out the times when the studio will be available and just start spreading the word once
Wow.
we get that.
Okay.
We've got to get Dick to open up some space for us here. He's starting to get pretty jammed up on a daily basis. So
Okay.
I guess before we leave, we can go ahead and give an idea of what the show is about. Cruisin is a show to inform and educate the community on local car clubs, events, and the events they put on within the Montgomery County and surrounding areas. So we look forward to spending time with you. Let's go.
all right, good deal. Well, let's give some station identification and maybe some other program information. This
we'll-
is
And
Go
we'll
ahead.
be right back with our next guest.
well. Let me get us
Okay.
out of here, and then you can jump in. But this is Cruisin Car Club Talk on 104.5 and 106.1 FM. Or for those who may be wandering outside the listening area, we can be streamed around the globe on irlonestar.com, YouTube, or Facebook.
And we'll be right back.
There you go.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruisin Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruisin Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
We are back and appreciate you spending time to cruise in for Car Club Talk with Robert, Randy, and we've got Dana in the studio again this week. Who's our guest right now?
And we have Arthur Robert Kennedy with his new book, Unbridled, and he is joining us through Zoom. Thank you, Robert, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Robert's coming to us from Nebraska.
Nebraska. Oh, okay. What's the weather like in Nebraska today?
Well, it's about 83 and sunny.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That's good.
Taking the kids camping here as soon as we're done with the podcast.
That's it, yeah. Well, hey, man, tell us a little bit about the book. Robert was asking me, he's like, so what all does this book entail? I said, it's got all 7 generations in it.
Yes, it is definitively, it is the most complete history of Mustang ever put down on paper. It actually starts, the first chapter is with Henry Ford building the quadricycle in 1896, and it follows him starting Ford and building it up to the point where they build the Mustang 2, or Mustang 1 rather, concept car in 1962. And then each generation of the production car gets its own dedicated chapter from there.
So the way you've pieced this together on the front of your book
Yeah, the book cover.
Yeah.
is actually a body style from each one of the cars, each generation, right?
Yes, I wanted to hammer home the idea, what the book was about, since I don't use the words Ford or Mustang anywhere in the title, but also I wanted to hammer home the idea that even though there are 7 distinctly different generations, they're all one animal. They're all the same car. They are Mustang.
So the one car has been in production, the only car that's been in production for 60 straight years. And
Yeah.
you've pulled that all together in one book. This is because you were just sitting around one night, couldn't go to sleep, and started writing?
You know, it seemed like I might get bored at some point. I figure this is a real easy way to not ever have that be a possibility.
I think that's worked out well for you.
Well, having kids too, probably not bored ever.
No,
kids.
well, actually, the kids are usually asking, why can't you come down and play with us? Well, I'm working on this book. In fact, I joke to people that every paragraph represents about another hour that my wife was stuck single parenting. There's a lot of paragraphs in this book.
So I think you and I had talked before over in Birmingham, and you started out working for Porsche, right?
I did. I turned wrenches for Porsche down in Texas for about 5 years. Then I met my wife and I quit Porsche to move up here to Nebraska to date her. She made it clear she wasn't moving to Texas to date me. That's been 20 years ago now. A couple of kids and everything's worked out great. We started a fitness company here in town, and I really hadn't looked back. Except that when COVID hit in spring of 2020 and city restrictions temporarily shut down our gym, I ended up, I don't twiddle my thumbs very well. So I ended up saying, you know what, I'm going to make a little documentary about the Mustang, specifically the Mustang 2, because I always thought that they got a little more hate than what they really deserve. And I kind of stick up for the underdog.
Right.
That's just part of my personality. So I made this little documentary, Adapt or Die, the Mustang 2 story. And I posted it to YouTube, and the thing actually ended up going kind of viral. John Clore over at Ford Performance saw it, and he tracked down my phone number, called me, said, "Hey, that's fantastic. You need to turn that into a book." So he hired me as a contributing writer for the Ford Performance website, and did twist my arm into doing the book. He didn't have to twist very hard either. I liked the idea.
Well, John has a nice way of making that presentation to get you to want to do it.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and I tell you what, it's the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was also one of the most rewarding things, and everything from getting to sit here and talk to folks like yourself now, to everybody else that I've met on the book tour that's been it's stretching into the 15th month right now. A lot of really neat memories made and really cool connections.
Yeah.
Well, you've met people from around the world now. I know that happened in Birmingham, but I think that probably happens at every national car show you go to, kind of the same thing. And then you're meeting folks in the local clubs as well.
Yeah, and we've hit up, oh gosh darn it, the Holly Ford Festival in Bowling Green, Kentucky. We got to meet Vaughn Gittin Jr., Chelsea Denofa down there. We got to meet everybody from Art Hyde to Jack Roush up in Michigan. All sorts of really cool people. Did a lot of phone interviews, several in-persons. seemed like just about everybody except Lee Iacocca and Carol Shelby. And it was pretty neat. It was a fun experience.
So you started out to write this book. John Clore encouraged you to do it. You were sitting at home during COVID.
Yep.
And the book ended up, if I remember correctly, this book's like a 15-pound book.
It's 5.5. Yeah, it's
5.5 pounds. Okay.
No Thanksgiving
That's
turkey.
really stretching it out.
Maybe a Cornish hen.
I mentioned that to Dana when she walked
thought
into
a
the studio.
turkey.
She said, that's the size of a
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving turkey. So
Yeah.
I guess it's more
yeah,
like a Cornish hen.
Yeah,
We
5
say
pounds
it's-
is more like it.
It's a coffee table book, but you better reinforce your coffee table.
Really inexpensive to ship, right?
Yeah.
Can you get it from
We
Amazon?
we charge $19.64 to ship it. See what I'm doing there?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the publisher said if you don't charge $20 to ship this thing, she said you're going to take a bath on it. You're going to lose money. And I said, well, if I have to charge $20, I'm going to charge $19.64 and see how many people catch on to what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
that's great right there.
Yeah.
That's a great way to market that.
Yeah.
Can you get it on
Yeah, I
Amazon? Or no?
I asked Robert.
Can you get it on Amazon, the book? Or no?
No, actually, Amazon wanted a really big chunk of the cover price, and because I chose to make this completely here in America, it's 100% written and printed here in the States, and it costs a little more to do that.
awesome.
I didn't want to price it above what all my fellow Mustangers could actually afford, and so to actually satisfy the percentage that Amazon wants and still turn a profit and keep the price down to an affordable level, that really wasn't going to work out. So it's exclusively at unbridledmustangbook.com
Okay.
or wherever I've been on the book tour.
Yeah, what tell us a little bit about as you go into the book. What are you uncovering in there? You talked about the quadricycle.
Yeah. So, like I said, that first chapter is everything pre-production Mustang. So it touches on everything important building to the point of building Mustang, which includes actually looking outside of the company, outside of Ford, at other influential vehicles and companies. So you get a little bit on the Chevy Corvette. You get to talk about the Thunderbird, of course, the Shelby Cobra. And then the Mustang One concept. And then it goes into the second chapter, which is actually the first generation Mustang. The way that I broke it down for each of these chapters was they all begin with an opening quote. Sometimes it's from a Lee Iacocca or a Carol Shelby type. Other times it could be lyrics to a song that has nothing directly to do with the car, but it sets the right tone for what we're about to uncover with the chapter. Then I go into a fairly detailed, fairly lengthy development section that talks about all the design and engineering work that goes into it. And then it breaks down per model year, going through the production. I use a combination of vintage advertisements and magazine review excerpts and all this, married to, throughout the book, over 900 color photos, most of which were actually procured from individual owners around the world, never before published. Because I know I own, a dozen or so Mustang books, and I have to figure a lot of my readers may, in fact, own a half dozen or so as well. And I didn't want them to spend $100 on this book. It's $99.99, and start flipping through it and go, seen it. Why did I even buy this book? So it's visually fresh, and then the storyline is very fresh. Even though I do write for the Ford Performance website on occasion, I didn't want to rely on just the Ford stock photography, and I didn't want to even attempt to make it an official Ford licensed product, because I wanted to be able to deviate from necessarily the corporate approved preferred storyline, and tell a few of the familiar stories from a unique, different perspective. And part of that was including commentary on competitive models from GM, from Chrysler, from Porsche, Mitsubishi, all these other brands, because my thought process coming into it was, who would Rocky Balboa be without Apollo Creed and Clubber Lang?
Yep.
if you don't talk about the competition, you're missing half the story. So to picture, a Corvette or a 911 or a Trans Am or a GTO at some point, that likely wasn't going to fly real well with a officially licensed book. So we steered clear of that. Each chapter ends up building then to a special editions and racing section, which is my personal favorite part. It turns the spotlight way more in depth on the two, in my estimation, most important limited production models of the era, and then the racing exploits of the day. But even through the regular chapter, it goes beyond just the Ford models. It covers the Shelby, Saleen, Roush, Steeda, RTR, McLaren, Peregrine, Hennessy, all these different submodels, the specialty models as well.
Well, it sounds extremely comprehensive. What's the actual title of it?
Unbridled, the passion, performance, and politics behind America's favorite pony car.
But above the word unbridled, and I
Oh,
just don't
yes,
have it
it
memorized.
Right. It says the unexpected, unauthorized.
Unauthorized. That's the one. That's the word that caught my attention, and then it says unbridled. But that
Yeah.
does give you the ability to open it wide up.
Right. The unexpected, of course, is a little reference toward the original ad campaign, the unexpected coming
Yeah.
April
Right.
17th.
Did,
And then unauthorized to make it clear that it's not an official licensed product.
did you happen to uncover any friction between the designers on which way they wanted to go in each generation? Was there?
Yes,
Plenty
sometimes
of that?
there definitely was.
Okay. Is any of that in the book?
Yeah,
Okay.
that is definitely alluded to. In fact, one of those cases is when I was talking to Ed Krenz, at the time chief engineer on the Mustang. And, he's moved over to Bronco now. Super great guy. Waited for a year and a half to talk to him. He eventually sat down with me on a Zoom call, just like this, for an hour and a half, and almost nothing was off limits. There were only two questions I asked him the entire hour and a half, where he kind of sat back and said, "What else you got?" But he acknowledged the controversy over the Mach-E, and whether or not to badge that as a Mustang product or not.
We're still having that
We talked
controversy
about that.
now.
We talked about how they actually did look at doing the S650 Mustang that we do know, the actual traditional coupe and convertible, the new model, as a fully electric coupe and convertible. We talked about how they did investigate basing that on the Explorer platform, and why it was that they abandoned both of those ideas. So a lot of that was on the table to be talked about, and especially in that last chapter of the book, it's almost a transcript of that interview. It's fascinating to hear what went on behind the scenes, not only because they were designing a new generation Mustang at such a pivotal time of, are we going gas, are we going electric, are we going hybrid, what are we doing, but also because they were trying to design it while everybody was quarantined.
Right.
Now, that was actually still happening during COVID. They couldn't just carve away on these clay models and walk around them as a team in the studio, because they're all doing it at home.
That had been interesting.
Like this.
That had been really interesting as far as a design concept.
And I totally understand when you talk about the competition. You had to look at the competition. If I remember correctly, the 2015, I have a 2015 myself, but they were competing with BMW, wasn't they, when they were designing the chassis?
Yeah. They're direct benchmark cars, as I recall, were in fact the BMW, the Nissan GTR,
right,
Porsche 911, and then the Camaro as well. But also they were benchmarking their own Boss 302.
Okay.
The S197, the Boss 302, that was such a great car.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. For still having a big stick axle out back, man, they really built a nice car.
They did build a good track car. Good track car.
Yep. And in fact, a lot of folks don't know, and all this, they did a lot of the development work for that out at Motorsports Park Hastings,
did they?
We call it MPH out here in Nebraska. Todd Soderquist, is a guy from Ford Performance, did a fair amount of the pushing behind that.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jeff Lacine is out there at Hastings.
Yes, yeah, Jeff's a great guy.
Yep,
Jeff
good guy.
had me out there shortly before the book came out. Did a little photo session with my best friend. He's got a little. It's actually a '75 Mustang II Mach 1, but it looks nothing like the stock vehicle at this point anymore. He's a member of the Team Shelby Northern Plains Club, and those members, the Shelby guys, have given that car a name for Jack. Call it the Shelby 2, a little Roman numeral, Shelby 2. It looks like a second generation, if you will, GT350, and it's an amazing build. That's a very, very quick car.
So
a lot of times when he races it out there with Jeff and all the other guys that come out to use the track, he's hanging with the S197 GT500s.
Is he? Yeah.
He's within a few seconds of them all the time.
So that 75, it's a Fox body we're talking about.
No, it's a Mustang 2.
No, that'd be
I'm sorry, Mustang 2.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
I got a question.
Well, I had that took my brain out of the play here.
Yeah, Mustang 2 with a 2300 engine on it, the 4-cylinder. Mm-hmm. Did that car almost kill Mustang? Because we had the.
No. My goodness, that engine saved Mustang.
Really, the 2300?
Yeah, it kept it relevant. Everybody had been worried about HP, but now they're worried about MPG.
Right. There was government regulations for that.
Yeah. You had people taking Boss 9s and Superbirds and Yankos and all this and just tossing them in the barn for the next several years because they couldn't afford to put fuel in.
You couldn't. That's right.
Well, we had the gas lines and everything else at that time too.
I was riding motorcycles back then because of the gas prices.
Yeah, it may not have been the car that the enthusiast base wanted.
No, because it didn't have the horsepower, and everybody thought it was just a joke, almost.
But it was definitely the car that the general public needed.
Yeah.
I mean, that 1974, not only Motor Trend Car of the Year, it remains the 4th best-selling model year in Mustang history, just behind 65, 6, and 7.
Does it really? Wow, that surprises
almost
me.
386,000 units in a single year.
Wow.
Well, I know we went years for not being able to get one at a car show. We couldn't find one, and because we wanted to represent all the generations, and the Mustang 2 was one thing that was absent. We just couldn't find them.
What the funny thing is, because John Clore and I have been kind of the main driving forces the last several years behind that Mustang 2 national reunion, and we actually are doing a pretty good job of getting the cars out there. We were just at Ford World headquarters about a month ago, doing the 50th anniversary show for that part of Mike Ray and the Moxon Club's Mustang Memories. And we had 72 Mustang 2s all lined up in a row there.
Wow, 72.
That's got to be a record.
72 of them. But the ones that we're having the most trouble getting to turn out are the 74s.
Okay.
Even though they built the most of them that year, there's, I think, the fewest of them still left because there for a time, let's say in the 80s, it wasn't the classic Mustang and it wasn't the new Mustang.
Yeah, it
was
wasn't
just
value.
the middle child.
Right.
And so I think they were regarded as disposable.
Right.
A lot of them did have that 4-cylinder engine.
Yeah.
And once the fuel crisis of 73, 74, and then again in 79 were both passed, people were looking for more horsepower again.
Yeah. Yes, they were.
I wonder if there's a way we can find out exactly how many survivors are out there in 74, 75s.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting number to learn. That's
right.
For sure.
It would be. Well, Robert, we appreciate you taking time to zoom in with us here. This is going to air this will air October 7th, and we'll get you a copy at that point in time, and you'll be able to send it around and pass it around. It'll be up on YouTube for you.
Well, I appreciate that. I definitely will. I did want to throw in, I was getting ready for the interview, and I found this in my closet. I don't know if you can see here. This is my little 1979 Matchbox Mustang,
Right.
Fox body.
That's cute.
This is the car that got me interested in Mustangs as like a 3-year-old.
Oh,
I
wow.
wouldn't be here talking to you guys if I didn't have this little toy.
Wow,
This is
that's
it.
fun. There's
For
always
like
a
Isn't
story.
that something?
79
my
cents
first,
or something, right? You
oh,
got
probably,
addicted to
yeah.
Mustangs.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. My first 2 Mustangs I ever bought were Fox bodies, and I'm sure it was because of that little toy.
Yeah. So what do you have right now?
Oh, right now I've got a little '74 notchback. It's a project car. Hoping to stick a EcoBoost and a 10-speed auto out of a unfortunately pre-demised 550.
Yeah.
And then I've got a '77 Classic 2 convertible. One of just 24 Mustang 2 convertibles done
Okay.
pre-title from Emmis Coach Builders, and I've got a King Cobra
Oh, great.
with T-tops. That one's pretty heavily modified. It's loud and rumbly.
Yeah.
Do your
And if I'm going here in a couple days to the Cruise for a Cause, Dan Neve's breast cancer fundraiser up in Wisconsin Dells. He's auctioning off, or not auctioning, he's raffling off that Dark Horse number 3. I've bought about 50 tickets.
There you go.
Hopefully that'll be in my garage next
Yeah.
week. I'd
There
really
you go.
like
You
to.
need to add on to that garage.
And let me tell you that EcoBoost 550, I've got 200,000 miles on mine.
Yeah.
It's a great motor.
Oh, wonderful motor.
Yep.
It's you get your cake and you eat it too.
Yeah.
You get
30 miles to
SVT.
the gallon plus the
Yeah,
you got the horsepower
get
too.
SVT Cobra level horsepower. You get Fox Body GT level torque, and you get Mustang 2 fuel economy. It's the best of every world.
Yep, I love mine.
Yeah, great car.
I remember the day he got it. He wasn't that happy about it because his other car broke down at the dealership.
Yeah.
So
I was going to
that's
ask.
another story.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, do your kids like cars or Mustangs? Since,
Oh, they're completely obsessed with cars.
okay. Since you started out at 3 years old, did they?
My wife's a gearhead too. My 9-year-old, his favorite cars are Model Ts and Duesenbergs. How many other
Wow.
9-year-olds even know what a Duesenberg
That's right.
is?
How many? You're right.
Maybe too
and then
many
my
adults know
10-year-old,
what a
yeah,
Duesenberg is.
He's just chomping at the bit for me to win the Dark Horse. 'Cause he wants that.
I'll
one crazy.
bet.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
He's looking forward to when he's able to drive and
Getting another
Oh,
got his
generation.
car picked
For
out.
sure, for sure. Yeah, they're good kids.
Well,
They're-
Robert,
they've got the bug.
I know you're taking them as soon as we're done here. You're taking them camping this weekend, so
Yep.
we appreciate you pushing back your departure because I know you're going to leave early and taking time to zoom in with us. We're going to get out of here and give some station recognition, and but thank you so much.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Take
All right, you take care.
Yep.
This is Cruisin' Car Club Talk on Lone Star 104.5 and 106.1 FM. Or for those Globetrotters out there, we can be streamed anywhere on earth at irlonestar.com, on Facebook, or on YouTube.
And we'll be right back with our next guest.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gull Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
Welcome back. We have in the studio with us who, Robert?
We have Brian Sims of Champions Hot Rod Car Club. He is joining us today. We're going to be talking about his car show coming up and get to know a little bit more about the club itself and how it began. And let's go ahead and take it away, Brian. Tell us how you started
Brian,
this
before
idea.
you get kicked off, man, you're looking awfully a lot like a Texan.
Okay.
We're glad to have you here, man.
I appreciate it.
What
Thank
gave
you
it
all for
away?
having me.
What gave it away?
You know what gave it away?
Yeah, what was your first clue? No, we started back when I was at the Tomball Lodge when Lone Star Hot Rod Car Club closed up.
I think I remember that.
Remember, they always had the Old Town Spring.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Sure
Right.
do.
the big show with 300 plus cars.
Right.
It was crazy, a 2-day event. Anyway, so when they quit doing that, I jumped in to raise money for the Tomball Lodge, and not Tomball Lodge, I'm sorry, the Spring Lodge. And so for the first 2 years, we did 2 events a year. And I thought, well, since I'm hosting this, why don't I open up my own car club, and the car club will host it,
Right.
even though all the proceeds go to the lodge or, whatever event we're doing. So it started that way, and then I moved closer out here to in Magnolia and started going to the Tomball Lodge. So then everything switched over to Tomball. And then in the meantime, as we grew, right now we're at 25-ish members. And I want to keep it 40, 45 max. I don't
Right.
really want to get giant.
Yeah, I was about to say 25, 30
Yeah,
is a good number.
Yeah, it's manageable.
Right.
So, I mean, I've had 400 employees before, and let me tell you what, that's a nightmare.
That
so.
becomes interesting, doesn't it?
It does. So,
You become a shrink
right,
at that point.
Everything, and you can't please everybody
Nope.
none of the time, I promise.
Never.
So,
Do y'all normally have meetings anywhere? Like a once a month meeting or a dinner out or
not
something
really.
like
We
that?
just meet on a Saturdays or Sundays.
Yeah.
We try and get everybody to meet up somewhere. We go for a little cruise, hit 1 or 2 places.
So it's no designated area.
Right, nah.
Okay.
It's too tough trying to pin everybody down. I'm in another organization along with the Masonic Lodge, and I'm the president of that, and
Yeah.
it's
It's a lot of work.
well that and trying to get everybody to show up, because if I say let's show up Saturday, everybody complains, no, let's do it Sunday. If I show up Sunday, oh, I want to do it Friday. Oh,
Yeah,
You know,
it's hard
so
to
it's
make
like-
everybody happy.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
you must not have a real job then.
I kind of do.
Or are they aware of that?
Yes, they are. But no, we go around the community, try and stay on this end of town, and we help out. We're 100%. Anything we do, any fundraisers, everything we do, 100% goes to charity, whatever that event is. Or if it's not money involved, then we go to the some of the senior citizens' home. They'll call us and they'll say, hey, can you get 10, 20 cars and park them out here for an hour or two? And yeah, when we do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
That's a pretty normal request now for senior citizens.
right.
Yeah, they're car enthusiast people also.
Well, of course they are.
So you didn't get actually onto, like you said, social media until about 2020.
Right, because I struggled and thought I could do it old school, but nah, it doesn't happen anymore.
That's just passing out flyers there, man.
Yeah.
And I did. I was getting 300 flyers, and let me tell you what, that was a struggle too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Did you print these?
I have them printed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, 'cause that's a lot of ink right there.
And a lot of colors. Does it cost a lot for all the colors?
Well, yeah, and if you notice, one of my sponsors is the
Printer.
printer, is the PostNet
Yep.
place. So she does a lot for me over there in Champions area. So
And I also see Gateway Classic Cars as your sponsor. That's the one over here on 1960.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've sponsored us for the last 2 years. Main sponsor. They give me a pretty good sized check, and that pays for our trophies. Then the rest of it goes to the lodge.
Okay.
I notice, I see you post a lot on the Montgomery County Automotive Enthusiast page. You guys are fairly active in the community. You're out there doing stuff all the time.
We try. We try and have 1 or 2 main events per quarter, whether it's doing something for the community or whatever. And then we usually try and do 2 shows, 2 car shows per year for the lodge. So,
So you do a spring and a fall?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
We tried doing one up at Rudy's this past summer, or no, it wasn't this summer, it was last summer, in Heat Wave.
Ha!
Yeah.
Yeah, there was only about 30 cars showed up, and they were all out there dying. It's like, oh, this was not a good idea.
Is that the Rudy's and Tomball?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What month was that?
July.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That explains
The
that.
very first show I ever put on was July 22nd, and we had 1 tree to provide shade. Somebody gave us some air-conditioned porta potties, and there was a line to get into those things.
I'll bet.
But no, it makes it fun. The interesting thing though is, or I think maybe the admirable thing is that you're giving us all the proceeds back to the community.
Correct.
For whatever you're taking part in.
Right.
And it's just a great way to give back to that.
And on the rocks, the location. I don't know that location myself. How'd y'all hook up with them?
They were close, and they have food, and they have, of course, drinks.
It's a sports bar.
It's a sports bar, and the lady there, Bridget, that runs it, is a fan of mine. So I mean, a friend of mine. So she donates the place. Of course, she charges for drinks and food and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
okay. But there's bathrooms. It's air conditioned. And there's TVs going, and she opens it up at like 10.
Yeah, and if it's free, it's not costing you anything to host a show there. That's great.
Not a penny, right?
And she doesn't see that you're taking up too much space in the parking lot.
Oh no, she loves it
Yeah.
because that's on Sundays. That's her biggest payday is on it because we usually have them on a Sunday, and that's the other thing I try and do is look 3-4 months in advance, see who's having shows, and I try and stay within 40 or 50 miles away from anybody.
Yeah.
So I try, and that was one of the first 2 or 3 times that I had the other car shows. I had to learn from that. That was a
Yeah.
learning curve.
Oh yeah.
That's really hard to do though, because we've always tried to do that too. Watch the calendar, and you go ahead and plan your show. And next thing you know, they're like, somebody's over there. Hey, do you know there's a car show right down the street? And I'm like, no.
And then you got football season.
Right.
We did not know that.
Yeah, but also you got to drink responsibly with the cars and the bar,
Right.
and especially on a Sunday morning.
Exactly.
And it says you got food trucks, DJs, and giveaways, 50-50 drawings. And $35 entry fee and free to the public. So if you're out there, please come on out there and see them.
And just to let everybody know, I've put this out before on our Facebook page, but not everybody reads from top to bottom. All of our judges are from outside sources. We don't use any of our own people, and our cars are not allowed in the shows.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
smart.
That's the way it
Yep.
should be.
So because I don't want to hear this.
Fussing and complaining
Right.
about inside special treatment.
Right. In fact, one of the sponsors is a judge, and a couple years ago, he was walking around with one of our shirts on that I just gave you all, and man, no one during the whole show come up to me and complained at all. Then afterwards, there was all this Mickey Mouse on the Facebook complaints from this one particular person.
Keyboard bully.
Right. So he, it's not fair. You have your own judge. I'm like, no, dude. And he's like, well, then why was he having a T-shirt? I said, because he's a sponsor. He gives us thousands of dollars
yeah.
worth of merchandise
Yeah.
to give away to you for free, or
Yeah.
other than your entry fee. And I gave him a
Unfortunately,
T-shirt because he wanted one. He goes, hey man, can I have one of your T-shirts? Yeah.
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 Well, going back to, you can't make everybody happy, but
Right.
it does have to be fair, so it's good that you're going outside for sure. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And,
I mean, I get all kinds of people. I've got mechanics. I've even had a couple women. I've got one guy's flying in from Missouri. He's going to be a judge, so he'll be here from St. Louis.
Wow. Yeah.
And I
Well,
take it since
He's going to think his ribs are better than anything you can get down here.
Right.
what type of car do you have? Because I know you got to be an enthusiast to do this.
I've got 3 of them. 2 of them are right here on the emblem.
Okay.
So I got a 38 Master Deluxe, and then I've got a 68 Chevelle Super Sport.
Yeah.
And then
396.
396,
Yeah.
all punched and all that good stuff. Everything's ripped out, no AC, no
Yeah.
heat.
I had a 66. So did you had to replace any floorboard trunk?
No.
No.
The trunk, I found a couple little spots, so eventually I'm gonna probably have to. But
Yeah.
it's been in the garage for 20-something years.
Yeah, the one that I had, that we had to replace the whole trunk,
Yeah.
rusting out. But it's still a good looking car.
Then I got a 79 Berlinetta.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Boy, we know a guy,
There you go.
Mr. Esposito.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anthony?
Yeah. He is into those Camaros. Or
Yeah.
Well, those, from what I found out after I bought it, they're not rare, but they're hard to find.
They're hard to
come
find,
across.
yeah.
Right.
And anything in good shape's really hard to find. So.
Yeah.
What on your category breakdown here? If If you would explain, I mean, what's original mean?
Excuse me. I want everybody to decide on their own. We don't, and that's the other thing we don't do at our car shows. I just found out after that was a learning curve. Don't try and put people in a category, because if they lose, you're to blame. But the way I see it, original means you've got an original car. The engine,
Nothing modified or.
right. So, no shaved door handles, no aftermarket mirrors. It's original.
Right.
Then you got, what's the other one? The next one?
Traditional.
Traditional would be kind of like what I've got, the 68 Chevelle. Well, it wasn't born in SS. And then I've also took the shifter off the column and put it on the floorboard and got a slapstick, and so shaved door handles. So to me, that would be that category.
It's probably something you would see back in 68 or 69, somebody would modifying their car.
Right.
But what is traditional then? If modified is what you just said,
Well,
The
no,
shaved door.
modify. That's I would call that traditional.
if you're shaving the door handles and.
Right. It's a traditional shell, and it's a traditional car, but it's got some modifications to it.
Okay.
It's not original, because you've
Yeah.
taken it out of that cat. That's and then modified, in my opinion, would be big giant blowers, traction bars, shaved tops, lowered, all that good stuff. And that's my opinion.
I bet you people wouldn't know what that traditional would be, though. Watch out for that fussing after.
Well, but that's why they get to pick.
Yeah.
So you can bring a trash can and say it's original. I don't care. Give me my $35.
That's what a lot of people miss, is it's really about the donation to the
Exactly.
charity. It's
Yeah.
not really about putting your car in
Right.
shape.
That's one of the hardest things to get out there, because so many people do, it's all about the trophy thing. And if that's what you're there for the wrong reason. So it's about having fun. It's about raising money. It's about helping the the community with the charities and stuff. And if you got a different idea on why you're there, then you probably don't need to be there, right?
Yeah, but for 50 years, the person who's entering their car, it's not about that. It's about the trophy.
Yeah,
It's about the goodie bag and the free T-shirt.
And we have pretty big trophies. Our first place is about 3 foot tall.
Oh, nice.
So we have some really nice trophies. I got to say, the Lodge goes way out of their
Yeah.
way. And
But the
And-
good thing is that we're changing that, Robert, and that's
Yeah.
why I think this show is good, because we integrate charity so much into what we do. We're trying to get away from that old
Yeah.
school mentality from even 20 years ago when we started it.
Yeah.
What are you going to get in return from?
I
entering
think the
your car?
best thing to change that mentality is everybody needs to volunteer. Everybody needs to work a show, then go to a show. Then you have a different perspective of, where's my trophy?
right.
You might have a better perspective for the people working it, and go over there and thank them for what they're doing, because they're volunteers. Nobody makes money doing this.
No.
Nobody's getting paid. They're all volunteers. It's hard work, and they're doing it for fun, and they're doing it for you.
But everybody volunteers right off the bat, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's always hard finding volunteers.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
sarcastic.
It's like getting an 18-year-old
usual,
to go
yeah.
to work and,
Yeah, we-
Yeah, I learned that down there at the rodeo.
Ah.
I'm on a committee down there, and it's a whole
You ask for
nother
volunteers, and
perspective.
you hear crickets.
Yeah,
you learn a new level of politics
Yeah.
correct.
when
No,
it's for charity.
Yeah. So, yeah, piece of advice: if you want to go to see inside of a car show, please be a volunteer and work a car show. And then, if you've got some criticisms, we'll listen to you then.
So I guess this open class, then, if somebody did bring a trash can, they could put it in there.
Absolutely. Boats are welcome. I don't care. It's open. Bring whatever you want. Motorcycles, Harleys.
Yeah.
Oh, we can identify as a car.
Right. There you go.
Actually, nowadays we can do that, can't we?
And you got first, second, and third, so you got plenty of chances to win that trophy.
You do. Yep.
Well, Brian, we really appreciate you coming in. We really wanted to know more about Champions Hot Rod Car Club, because we see it all the time now on social media, and we're like, who are these guys? Where are they at? Because I haven't seen them.
No. We see your posts all the time, but we never met you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's
It's good to see you
appreciate
and
you
finally
coming in
meet
here.
you.
Well, I
Yes.
appreciate
So
the
you do have a
invite.
website, though, which
Do what?
you do have a website.
Yes.
So you must have a volunteer who does that. That's a pretty big job, too.
There is.
And you're not behind in technology if you're doing your own website. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I built it
That's great.
through GoDaddy.
Yeah. Well, see, that's a
That
huge
was Northside's
responsibility.
first server, GoDaddy, for Northside.
That's a big deal, doing your own website like that.
Yeah.
Keeping up with that. So at least we can find you there too with the website.
That's a 12-pack of beer Friday, Saturday, Sunday job. So you know.
Well, Friday's out, I'm here.
That's right.
But Brian, you're always welcome to be back. If you got anything going on, we'd love to hear about it. We'll have you back in the studio and promoting Champion Hot Rod Car Club and try to get you those more members.
So once again, how do people get in touch with you?
They can go through the Facebook page, the Champion Hot Rod Car Club, or they can go to the website, same thing, championhotrodcarclub.com.
So either Facebook or the website.
Or the website. The website's really nice. I've already visited it. It's
I've not
it's a
had a
great it's a
chance
great
yet.
job you've done.
Thank
It's
you.
a good looking website.
I struggle, but I muddle through it, and if I have a problem, I just pick up the phone and dial 800 to help me.
Yeah.
And
Or
they-
Google it.
Yeah.
But no, this show is right after Cars and Coffee, so that'd be cool. Come have some coffee in the morning and go straight
Yeah,
out.
that's
to
right.
the,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
have
actually,
coffee in the morning and then a cocktail at lunchtime.
if you've
Yeah.
got some more of these with you by chance, we'll put these out on Sunday morning. We're up at 5 o'clock. She's got an event called
Yeah.
TWCC, the Woodland Cars and Coffee for a Cause, or as she says, Cars and Coffee for a Cause. But yeah, we'll put some of these flyers out so we get
That'd
people
be
to
great.
leave at 11 o'clock, and
Okay.
they still have till how late can they enter?
Oh, register, yeah. What's the latest?
11. I try and cut it all off between 11 and 11:30.
We have to get them out of there at about.
Well, they normally leave out there about 9:30,
Yeah,
so
they
they
started-
got plenty of time to
Oh,
make
yeah,
this show.
I mean, comes
It's a long story, but this thing started at used to start at 9 o'clock, right?
9 to 11.
People kept coming earlier. Now we're out there before 6.
Wow.
With barriers to
Yeah.
keep people
and that's
out.
the one up here in the Woodlands,
Yeah,
right?
Market
Yeah,
Street.
Market
Yeah,
Street.
We cut
yeah.
it off at 4 o'clock. Market Street said they didn't want anybody coming before 5:30. So.
Well, man, we appreciate you taking time to come in here,
Well, thank you.
and we look forward to getting this out, getting the word out for you.
I appreciate it.
we
Any help,
appreciate it.
It'd be good help.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet y'all.
Well, that's it for this episode of Cruisin' Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy, and it looks like we're adding Dana. Say hello, wave, Dana. You're still on camera. Everybody's on camera, right? I guess
Ponytails.
everybody does that. And locked up back there in the safe room in the sound booth, right behind the protective glass, is Dick Schischler, our sound engineer and producer. We are broadcasting from the studios of Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 and 106.1 FM, and streaming worldwide at irlonestar.com, on Facebook and on YouTube.
And we look forward to spending time with you on the next episode. Go support your local car club, and we'll see you at the car show.
Excellent.
Bye, y'all. Take care.